Hello to you. This is Ask Dr. Lori. I'm Dr. Lori. I'm going to take your questions right in the comments. Ask those questions you want to know. Personal questions, antique questions, art questions. What should we buy? Is it valuable? There's a question that you're all asking. Is it valuable? Make sure those questions, of course, are, broad questions that everybody wants to know the answers to. And again, those specific little things like, how do I tell this? How do I tell that? I'll answer those questions too. But the specific ones that relate only to your object are not what everybody wants to know. You can always send me a picture to the website, of course, if you want to do that, and I will help you specifically. But get those questions in the comments section. Happy to be with all of you. Thanks for joining me. Is it valuable is really what you all want to know, right? Don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter. The newsletter actually goes out tomorrow. If you didn't sign up yet, you should get on it because this newsletter is going to feature, of course, the classes that you've all been asking for and other great information that can help you make money when you're collecting or, of course, reselling art, antiques, and collectibles. It's at drloriv.com. It's easy to find. It's the thumbs up icon at the website, drloriv.com. Just sign up for the newsletter, put in your email, and we'll send it to you. You don't have to do anything else, and it's free. And I'm going to spell that for you, Free, free. The newsletter is free. It's good to be with all of you. Let's get those questions. How do we know if Murano glass with a sticker is actually a fake or authentic? There's lots of ways to know, and I have lots of videos that show you that. If you are looking for a specific video, you can just search Murano in the search on the YouTube channel here with me. So right at the channel, it says search Dr. Lori's channel. Type in Murano and all the videos where I explain how to tell, what to look for with specific pieces are there. There's lots of characteristics that people will look for. I suggest you use the search. The search is going to do you a lot more good and not that. And then a lot of the folks are saying, does anybody on the channel know if there's this video? Does anybody on the channel know if there's that video? It's not that our community won't know. They might, but they will not be able to do the search as well as if you use the search function. So that would be helpful. Cloisonné beaded necklaces are valuable. Yes, great question. They're valuable for many, many different reasons. A lot of people like them. A lot of people collect them. And typical ones are, in fact, valuable. So good question. Yep. They're certainly valuable. In terms of what to look for in cloisonné beaded necklaces, you want to look for actual cloisonné as well as enameled. And you're saying, what? Well, cloisonné has to do with cloisons, where they put little tiny stones in between the wires. Enameled cloisonné actually is where they just paint in an enamel in between the little wires. So make sure you know what you're looking at when you're looking at cloisonné pieces. I found my mom's Pillsbury Dough Boy cookie jar. Is it valuable? You know what? Yes. As a matter of fact, there was a video that I did about those particular Pillsbury collectibles, and many, many different advertising collectibles are valuable. Cookie jars are valuable as a rule. That category is valuable. A lot of people collect cookie jars and enjoy cookie jar collecting. And the Pillsbury Dough Boy as an advertising icon actually brings value too. So it's good that you found it. I hope it's in good condition. Don't put it in the dishwasher if you want to clean it up. It's always best to hand wash that particular example. So great for you. Good for you. Yep. Is Baccarat still making glass? Baccarat is a very, very famous French glass and crystal maker. We see a lot of Baccarat on the market right now. And in terms of production, there's much production for Baccarat. Baccarat has a very characteristic and identifiable mark as well. Thanks, Julie. Does Sorelli use only Swarovski crystals in their jewelry? Sorelli typically will use Swarovski crystals in their jewelry. When you say only, there are time periods when, of course, you see the manufacturers using other particular crystals. But for the most part, you will see predominantly Swarovski crystals. I don't like the only all-encompassing because, you'll find that one piece when there was some kind of problem with a shipping delay or production lines where they may not have. But I would say that the majority, yes, the majority. Sorelli is a very good name. Yep, good question. Good question. Lots of these pieces. What's the best way to determine maker of old clear glass items when they're not marked? There are many ways. The form is one of the ways that you will identify it. The type of bottle will be another way to identify it. Seams will be another way to identify it. So there's 3 ways that you can start with. More information is also at drloriv.com under the research tab. You could also just search bottles if you like. But again, those are 3 of the obvious tips of how you would do it, but there's lots of them. I actually appraised a relatively interesting bottle today that showed not only the maker of the bottle, but clear as day, the maker of the bottle, what the bottle was for, where the bottle manufacturing company was, happened to be from Cincinnati, Ohio, and such. So yeah, you can get a lot of information, or sometimes those bottles have very little information. There are a lot of bottle collecting organizations, of course, that collect bottles. I have lady vases. Diane, how are you? I've been doing this for nearly like 25 years. And I have to say, Diane is one of the folks who've been following me for almost all that time, a long time. Hi, Diane. Lady head vases that I'd like to sell. Where would be the best place to sell something like that and I don't get ripped off? Okay, well, a couple of different things about lady head vases. And I don't know if any of you guys know what this looks like, but basically it's a ceramic head. And usually they have eyelashes. Sometimes they have earrings that are pearls. But it's a ceramic head of a woman. Was modeled in the 1960s after famous people like Jackie Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe and others. But lady head vases have a long-standing collectability. Some of them are very low in value. Some of them can be $10, $15, and some of them can be into the hundreds easily. So you have to know which ones, where they're made, how they're made, and how decorative they are. Best places to sell them. There's lots of good places to sell them online. And my classes talk about and break down the different online platforms or sites where you can sell different things. So I actually broke down, when I talk about that class, when I teach that class, I broke down it's best to sell this and this artwork here. It's best to sell this type of ceramics here. It's best, to sell it in this way. Do you do a buy it now or do you do an auction? And when do you make that decision? So that's what the classes are all about. And you can sign up for the classes. They are listed on the events page at drloriv.com. Good question, though. Is Kramer jewelry as valuable as Miriam Haskell? Miriam Haskell jewelry usually has more. If you had, earring to earring pair, so you've got 2 pairs of earrings, they're basically similar. They're very similar. Miriam Haskell is usually a little bit more valuable than Kramer. But. Did you hear me say but? Okay, but. Remember, it will depend on the piece. You could have a piece of Kramer that is worth more than Miriam Haskell and vice versa. I want you to make sure that you get the spelling of Miriam Haskell correct, because the way you've typed it in, Sherry's not correct. I'm not being critical. I'm not being rude. I'm not being belligerent. I just want you to get it right, because when you're listing, if you're trying to list these pieces and you don't have the spelling right, you may actually end up not being able to, in fact, get more people to the show to look at your piece as potential buyers if you're not spelling it correctly. So misspellings are a big deal when you're actually trying to list online. So you can't make a generalization and say all the Kramer jewelry is more valuable or all the Miriam Haskell jewelry is more valuable, because that's just not the case. Kramer's a good name. Miriam Haskell's a good name. So look for both of them. And they're part of my treasure hunting treasure map, my thrift store treasure map that I gave all of you. So Bohemian glass is usually the glass that's reserved for those types of pieces of glass that were made in an area that is known as Bohemia. Bohemia is the area, of course, of Europe that we typically envelop parts of Germany, Poland, and such. But Bohemian glass is a term that's oftentimes used. Bohemian glass oftentimes is known for colored glass and sometimes decorated with enamel flowers on top of it, but that's not the only type of Bohemian glass. Cobalt glass cut to clear could be made in Bohemia or Bohemian glass too. That's basically what it is. Thank you for the super chats and the super stickers. It helps to support the channel, and I appreciate it very much. And it's necessary if you want me to keep doing it. So good to see all of you. I sold the paper rate you appraised for $50 more than the appraised value. Good for you. So you really marketed that paperweight. Good for you. Beautiful Millefiore paperweight. It was part of the online appraisal. You submitted it, and I did an online appraisal written report. A lot of people like to, of course, tell folks, hey, I've got a written report from Dr. Lori to help you actually sell it. So that's great. Congratulations to you, Chris. You work hard, and I'm glad that that's working for you. I love to hear that you're all succeeding. I've been hearing a lot of it. I'm confused about spinels. Are they natural gems? Spinels are very interesting, and lots of people get confused about them because they are colorless typically. And those typical colorless ones, a lot of people will mistake or say, "Oh no, it's not as good as a diamond. Oh no, it's not as good as a white topaz. Oh no, it's not as good as a rhinestone," and such. Spinels, in fact, are gems that will be identified with the Presidium gemstone tester. So if you don't have the Presidium gemstone tester, my big suggestion, and I understand people are saying, "I don't have it, I can't afford it, I'm not doing enough of it to warrant it." But if you are selling gemstones, if you are selling jewelry or reselling it or trying to find it for yourself, you need the Presidium gemstone tester. Save up, ask people for Christmas gifts or holiday gifts for that. The gemstone tester will show you a spinel, and that's very important. Speaking of gifts, don't forget the gift for everybody, those people who have everything, the appraisal gift certificate, and those are available at the specials and shop page at drloriv.com. They make great holiday gifts, of course. The gift certificates are now available. A lot of you have been asking, when are the gift certificates for the video calls going to be available? When can I get a gift certificate? So you certainly can do that. And video calls too with the gift certificates. But it's often very, very good for that person. You say, "Oh, I can't buy this person one more thing. What could I get that's going to be a unique and wonderful present?" That's a good one. So spinels can come in different colors. Typically, they are colorless. Yep, that's spinels. But the gemstone tester is what's going to be important. How much percentage price down for a fine china when there is a hairline crack on it? Well, it depends on the piece, Zelly. I have to say it depends on the piece. Because a hairline crack on a teapot that goes from the top all the way to the bottom is going to be, it's going to have to lower that price more than if you have a hairline crack on a little saucer that's already worth a little bit of money. So I would say it's difficult to identify, one percentage. It's a good question. I can't say, "Oh, it should be 10%. Oh, it should be 5%. Oh, it should be this." It's going to depend on the piece. Hairline cracks are bad. You don't want to have a crack if you can help it, especially in a piece of fine china. If you have a full set, sometimes, and you have one piece or two pieces in your service for 12 that actually has a hairline crack, you can't say, "Hey, I've got a perfect service for 10, but then these other two pieces happen to be cracked." But you do have to identify it, which you know. But 1%, I wouldn't say, "Oh, it's this, oh, it's that." It's different than collection value. I'll say collection value, it's the total value, then add 10% or add 5%, when you have a full collection of something. But you can't really do that because a hairline crack, not all hairline cracks are created equal. Let me put it that way. I found a large chandelier with matching sconces. Okay, if you don't want sconces, those are the wall sconces that are on the wall. There's usually a pair of them. I believe that they're made of slag glass. How would I find out for sure? Well, slag glass is discussed at length on my website, drloriv.com. If you want to go to the search, which is the little magnifying glass icon at the top of the page, it's right there, the search. You see that box above the red Contact Dr. Lori box? Go into the search and type in slag. You can type in glass too. You'll get, of course, my information about slag glass. Slag glass is the glass that is trying to look like marble. It's trying to look like a stone, actually. And it comes out of the tradition of early Roman glass. Zelly, you're welcome, sweetheart. You're welcome. I'm always happy to help. You know that. I wish I could give you, "It's this," but you can't do it that way. So you can always send me a picture, drloriv.com. You know how to do it. You just go to drloriv.com and go to find values. There it is. It says send a photo, get a report. That's an easy way. You've got that round right on the left-hand side of the homepage, that round circle with the camera in it. Just send me a photo. If it's not worth the cost of the appraisal, I'm going to tell you that. I don't want you to pay for an appraisal that's not worth, the object's not worth the appraisal cost. So, but I'll look at your piece. And if it's really bad, now give me a good shot of that hairline crack and give me a measurement. How long is it? Is it 2 inches? Is it 5 inches? How long is the hairline crack? Good. May, thank you very much. I appreciate your support very much. Thank you for the super chats and super stickers. Some of you are basically helping everybody else. You're carrying the weight of everybody else because the super chats and super stickers help us to make, of course, more videos. You're helping the rest of the community. So thank you very much. Aloha. Aloha from Maui. Let's go to Maui now. Let's just all pick up and grab something and go to Maui. I think that's a great idea. Although you're already in Maui, so maybe that's not fun for you. You love the loop. The loop is excellent. It's a money magnet. I told you. I gave you all the tools. All you have to do is go to the specials and shopping page. I gave you the tools so you know what to look for. I was talking to a young woman, a young mother today, and she said, "Oh, Dr. Lori, I missed my appointment. I'm so glad that I was able to catch up with you and this and that." And she was very cute because she said, I said, "Do you have a loop with you?" She said, "I don't." She said, "Where do I get a loop?" "Where do you get a loop?" "You got to get my loop." And I said, "That's going to help you a lot because it will answer these questions for you." You'll look, of course, the loop is easy. It's a magnification eyepiece that you can use. And when you start to use it and start to get used to using it, you're going to say, "Oh my gosh, I know exactly what I'm looking for." Because once you have that information, no one's going to beat you. No one's going to stop you. I'm going to help you do it. All of you are doing it. Those of you who have been following me, right, and watching over the years, you're going, "I've been doing it. She's right. She gets it. There it is." So yeah, the loop is easy. Get the loop. I'm glad Betty loves the loop. I think the loop is a big, big help, when you're looking for things in thrift stores, yard sales, estate sales, wherever you might be looking for it. So that's wonderful. Remember, when you purchase something like the loop, I do get compensation. So I get a little bit of compensation when you purchase the loop. That helps, of course, support us and such. But yes, I want you to all know that transparency is very important to me. So of course, if you buy the loop, it's not $1 million anyway. But if you buy the loop, I get a little bit of compensation. But thank you for doing it, and you'll thank me. It'll help you. It'll help you. Is Empoli glass trending right now? Yes, Dawn. Empoli always sells well. Always sells well. Beautiful, wonderful Empoli. Yep. Yep. Many of the designer pieces are doing well. Remember, certain forms do better than other forms, right? Certain colors do better than other colors when it comes to glass. But that's true also in art. That's true in ceramics. That's true in China. It just depends. But yes, very, very collectible now. Sure. And then, remember about this idea of trending now, things go into style and out of style, just like anything else, but things always come back, and the quality pieces, there's always somebody out there who wants a quality piece, right? So people will say, "Oh no, Hummels are out," or "Oh no, crystal is out." There's always somebody out there who wants a quality piece. So if you're collecting quality, which is what I try to train you to know, you'll do fine. I sent in a picture and was told the item was not worth more than $59. I was so thankful that there was no charge. That's right. That's how we run it. That's how we roll, kids, right? Basically, if the piece is not worth it, I just get back and I just say, "Not worth it. Don't bother." Now, some people say, "I don't care. It's a family heirloom. I want to know the history and the background." And some people want it. That's a different story. But yes, that is how we roll. I'd be mad if somebody charged me and then sent me a report that said it wasn't worth as much as what I spent. That's how I would be. I think that's a normal person's response. But yeah, so good. I'm glad. That's why we do it. And thank you. And I would thank you if you share that information with your friends and family. You say, "Hey, Dr. Lori's trying to help us out." So with this month being the 100-year opening of King Tut's tomb, yes, will Egyptian revival be phasing out again in popularity? It doesn't only phase in for a short amount of time. So the Egyptian revival, or Egyptomania, has continued throughout really the last year or so. 2022, people are thinking about Egyptomania. I think people will continue to think about it. And remember, it's also the 50-year revival of the 1970s Egyptian interest. See, because that revival was 1922, and then, of course, the revival was 1972, and now we're 50 more years from that. So you get some of those revival pieces that are even coming back onto the market. So I think you got a good 6 months left to actually enjoy those pieces and to see that revival. But a good question, a smart question. I try to tell you how to collect what's coming, what's the next trend, what's the next thing, right? That's going to be popular. I've been telling you for years about Egyptomania coming back. So I'm glad that you guys have pinpointed some of that advice from me. Good. I bought a Trifari bangle bracelet for 99 cents. Wow, that's good. However, it is so narrow, only a young girl, elderly lady, or someone with a very small hand could fit into it. Why so narrow? Well, it might have been intended for a young person. That's very, very possible that it was intended for a young person. Also, remember, sometimes things are too small or too big. Sometimes people will say, I've got a 10-inch bracelet here. How is it 10 inch? Sometimes those are anklets, right? So that's another whole nother story. But yeah, some of them are intended that way. Sometimes they're intended as baby bracelets, for little girls who might be a flower girl in a wedding kind of thing. Sometimes it's for holiday, like dressing up at Easter, that kind of thing. So yeah, not uncharacteristic. 99 cents, you're not going to lose on 99 cents. And I'll tell you, to look at me, you think this couldn't be possible, but I had I had one aunt who was so petite and small, probably could have fit her. So, some people are very, very petite too. How about Capodimonte? If the question is Capodimonte valuable? Yes. And it's Capodimonte is Capodimote, to Capodimonte, made in Naples, Italy. It is, in fact, and spelling, spelling counts, right? Yeah, I used to tell my students at Penn State, spelling counts. Let's try to spell it correctly. But you'll get it. You'll get it. Is it valuable? Yes, it depends. It will depend on the mark. It will depend on the condition. It will depend on what type of Capodimonte it is, right? Because sometimes they just have the bas relief embossed cherubs. Sometimes they have thick, sculptural, beautiful, hand molded, applied ornamentation on a piece. Sometimes they're big urns. Sometimes they're vases. Sometimes they're small centerpieces, but Capodimonte is valuable if that's the question. And I like to answer that question. Is it valuable? Some things aren't. Not everything is valuable, but yes, Capodimonte, sure. You'll do fine. Look for the mark. What's the best way to keep up with what collectibles are trending? Seems like I'm always late getting on board. Well, Mike, then you're not listening to me enough. What can I say? I mean, every single week, twice a week, 3 times a week, right? On these shows, I'm saying, well, there's this, well, there's that, this is coming, that's coming. The other way to, of course, keep it up is keep in touch with me on Facebook, on the website, on the YouTube channel. I mean, Instagram, any of the social medias. I mean, I put all this stuff on the newsletter because I send that out so frequently. There's always information in the newsletter about these kinds of things. And don't feel bad that you are, I'm always late to the game. The game goes on a lot longer than you would think. There's always a collector out there who hasn't yet got their piece of Egyptomania yet, right? So, yeah, you'll be fine with that. Remember, collect what's coming. The trends happen, right? The trends happen. In certain categories, they happen in a shorter amount of time. I'm going to make an egg sandwich with a thin piece of ham and Tabasco sauce. Okay, John, well, that's great. Are you going to make it right now during my show? Because I think that would be kind of rude, especially if you're not going to share it with me. Come on. He's going to make an egg sandwich with Tabasco sauce. I don't like things that are too spicy. Where are my spicy people? Do you people like spicy, very, very spicy? Like I could eat some Indian food, but it's got to be kind of mild, So Tabasco sauce, not my favorite thing, but good. Enjoy your egg sandwich, John. I mean, I don't know why you feel the need to say that, but whatever. It's your community as much as it is mine. Oh, I have a boudoir doll that my grandmother gave me. Is it valuable? Yeah, Charlotte, your boudoir doll is actually pretty valuable. It appears she's from the Civil War by the way she's dressed. Okay, well, boudoir dolls typically, especially the French boudoir dolls, come into widespread use about the turn of the 20th century, about 1890 to about 1905, somewhere in there. You see them really have a spike in the 1920s. Some of them are very, very elongated, beautiful pieces. So the Civil War would probably be a little early. Maybe somebody decided to dress the doll like that. But if you want to send me a picture, I can date it for you. But yeah, sure, that's valuable. That's for sure. Make sure you keep it in the open air. So maybe she can sit on maybe on a rocking chair in the bedroom or something like that. Lori, thank you. Lori always supports the channel. She's very impressive in that way, and I appreciate it. All of you can of course support the channel in many different ways. Super chats, super stickers. If you want to go to our website, there's a tip jar on our website too. It's just tip-jar. But the other thing I would say is support our channel by watching the videos, by getting the information, by letting me help you. That's also a way that you can support us. So watching the videos is very important too. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the newsletter, sign up. Tammy, how can you tell what a piece of Van Briggle is worth? Okay, well, a couple of things, Tammy. Van Briggle has a lot of very identifiable forms, right? So there are a lot of forms of Van Briggle that you look at and you go, oh, that's a Van Briggle and it's the mulberry color. Or that's a Van Briggle and it's a nice light blue color. Or that's a Van Briggle, budding flower form. So when you see Van Briggle, those identifiable forms or those characteristic Van Briggle forms or colors are going to have value higher than the ones that you say, gee, is that Van Briggle? Am I sure about that? Also, the marks. The Van Briggle has a very characteristic mark. It's the double A's, actually, for the founders, if you will, of Van Briggle. It also usually says Colorado Springs, Colorado. So that's another one of the identifying marks. But if you see them and they're older Van Briggle pieces, usually the older ones and the more rare pieces tend to hold their value better. So nice question. Good question. Van Briggle. I had praised a very big collection of Van Briggle in a video call recently, and those folks actually still had the original boxes shipped from the Van Briggle factory. So wow, there was a lot. Hugs and kisses, Bulldogs. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I hope I give you hugs and kisses back. So it's good to see you. And I always love to see, of course, the dogs. The animals make me happy. The animals make me happy. One of these days, I got to bring my animals and show you all of my pets from around my home. I'll bring them into the studio. Anyway, but thank you for the super chats and the super stickers. As I said, it supports our channel. And it supports our community. It supports everybody, so I can tell you more of what information I can share with you. I have a vintage boy and girl googly-eyed dolls that are collectible. My grandkids are afraid of them. A lot of dolls are a little scary. Some dolls are creepy. I have to say it. But I don't, when you say they're Google-eyed dolls, I need a little bit more than Google-eyed dolls, because there's a lot of dolls that would fall into that characteristic or fall into that. So dolls in general are collectibles. People still do collect dolls. Any of the toys, toy collectors and doll collectors, they remind us of childhood. They're based with, they stir emotions, right? So very characteristic of those types of things. And that will hold value typically. But if you want to send me a picture, I'll take a look. We'll see about value for them. Yeah. But really nice. Shane, are you able to watch shows like Antiques Roadshow or American Pigs without pulling your... I had a cardiologist once who said, just don't watch. Just don't watch it if it upsets you. There are times when I will say I have seen obvious mistakes. There are times when I remember one incident of one of those shows, and they were appraising a maquette of a very famous sculpture from New York City. And the maquette was easily $50,000. And the offer was something like $5,000. And I'm sitting there going, it's worth more than that, So if they've got a dog in the hunt, right? If they want to buy the piece from whomever is offering to sell it, you don't want that person doing the appraisal, because that person is not telling you the truth typically. So remember, if they have in my opinion, if they want to resell it for you or buy it from you or help in any way get involved in the money part of it, they're probably not going to tell you really what it's worth. They're not going to offer you really what it's worth. But do I pull my hair out? I've been doing this for so long. I've been doing this for so long that, I know what the game is. I've seen the game a long time. And many of you understand the game too, right? But I have seen pieces that have been museum quality pieces be very undervalued on some of those shows. I've seen them walk by pieces that were very valuable. Don't know why they walked by it. Maybe they just missed it and just didn't know. So thank you for the compliment in red. I tried to match the lipstick. I never do stuff like that. I'm not that girl. I got to tell you, I'm not that girl. Vincia Wallace art. The value of Vincita Wallace art. I have to see it. Vincita Wallace art. I don't know. I would like you to send me a picture of that. And I need dimensions, and I need to see a picture of the entire front, entire back, including the frame if it's framed, and a close-up picture of a signature or a marking. So I'd like to take a look. I will certainly do that. Ophelia, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that too. Yeah, lots of good questions. Don't forget, of course, about the classes. And don't forget about other channels that you like to watch. Would they like to collaborate with me? Tell them about me. Ask them to contact me. Maybe we'll do a collaboration with some of your favorite channel hosts and such. So that would be fun. I know a lot of you are taking my classes and then focusing, of course, some of your own YouTube channel topics on that. I just bought a teapot and a coffee pot that says made in England and it has a silver mark. It's a walking lion. Is that for sure sterling? The lion passant mark is an image of a lion looking left. So if it's a walking lion or a striding lion, it has to be pointing toward the left. That's the left. For me anyway. That is typically a sterling mark. When you say, is it for sure? It depends, of course, on what other hallmarks are there. Do you have a Birmingham hallmark? Do you have a London hallmark? Do you have a head stamp hallmark? So it depends. But basically, made in England, it would have, of course, an image of a lion looking left, usually is the image or the hallmark for sterling. So there's lots to identify, though. If you can't identify sterling from silver plate, you should be able to do that by one of the ways that I highlighted on the channels. I've talked about silver a lot on the channel. Again, you can go to the search and you can just put in silver and all the videos will come up. You could also use the binge link, which is what we use. Dante Digger, thank you very much for that. The binge link. The binge link is very helpful. Why? Because it puts everything in order. It's the big red button on the specials and shop page. Click, scroll down, and you guys don't scroll pages enough. If you don't see it come up immediately, you don't think about scrolling. Scroll down, and then some web pages are long. They have to be. And then, that little link, that little bit.ly link, actually, you can put it into where you type in something in Google, put it in there, cut and paste it in there, and then all of the videos will come up in order. It's so much easier. So many of you are going, I didn't realize how much easier it is. It's much easier than hoping that you're going to get a notification and such. You can go through the videos. There's a lot of information in these videos. Charlotte, thank you very much for the super chat and the super sticker. A lot of people are saying, I don't like it when you thank everybody. Can't you just thank them all at the end? What do you think? Tell me what you think. I want to hear your opinion too. And some of your opinions, I've got to say, and I'll come back to Shane's question in a minute, but some of your opinions, I have to say, we had a system overload in the last stream, and these whiners and complainers, and you threw me out, and you're terrible, and your staff hates me, and why are they doing? I got thrown out. The system overloaded. No, everyone loves you. No one wants you to feel bad. No one wants you not to be here. The system's overloaded. We told you that could happen. We told you if you overload the system, what are we going to do? There's nothing we can do. So, you really can't have, you want to have 3 setups going and you're clicking and clicking and clicking, trying to get in. I know you all want to get in to get the free appraisal, but, you have to be, reasonable about that. We're not trying to kick anybody out. We want you all here. Sometimes the system gets overloaded. And, I got kicked out. So the system overloaded me too. So that's nobody's fault. But I just want to be clear about that. I'm sorry, I missed whatever Shane was saying here. Uranium glass lamps, the last show. Love the kind. Yeah, I mean, thank you. Thank you very. Yeah, the staff is good. I mean, they're doing everything to do this. I can't be here talking with you and then running technology too. I can't either because who could be? But I can't do all of it. I think we do a lot, and the staff really does things. So thank you for recognizing the staff. I'm happy to have appraised your lamp, and I'm happy to praise any of you guys' stuff. So. Can you explain Tiffany lamps? What's more desirable? Okay, let's do the history of Tiffany lamps. Well, some of the more popular ones and some of the ones that a lot of people are looking for rarity would be valuable. The turtleback lamp, the dragonfly lamp, and these are shapes of Tiffany lamps. Okay, made by Louis Comfort Tiffany, not made by any other Tiffany or Tiffany Style or Dale Tiffany or any of those other Tiffany's. Just Louis Comfort Tiffany, Tiffany Studios, right? And there are certain stained glass lampshades of table lamps or floor lamps, right, that in fact have certain decorations that are more desirable than others. The wisteria lamp, so some of the more popular ones, the wisteria lamp, and I'm giving you a list, right? That means write it down. Here comes the list. This is why people say I rewatch Dr. Lori's videos because there's so much information. So wisteria lamp, turtleback lamp. You'll also have the dragonfly lamp. There is one, of course, of the sunflower lamp. I've appraised a lot of these lamps, and they come in very, very, very high. You're at $100,000 and more, like in a second for these lamps. They should be marked as well. I actually had a Tiffany lamp on the show here, so you can watch the videos there, and you have to go find the Tiffany video to watch it. Because this is live. So we go, why doesn't she put it in? Why doesn't she drop it in? This is live. So I don't know that Tiffany question's coming up. So it's not my staff's fault that we don't have an image for you here. So go to the search and search Tiffany lamps on Dr. Lori's, of course, on Dr. Lori's channel right here on YouTube. And then you'll be able to see the person who found one at a yard sale, and I appraised it. And let me tell you, it was some bucks. So yeah, those are some of the things that you look for. I hope that answers your question. Hi, C. Marie. Thank you very much for your super chat, super sticker. I appreciate them. They help us. The other thing that helps us, if, of course, you want to buy some Christmas gifts, you want to buy some merchandise, we have, of course, the mugs are popular. Yes, I get compensation when you purchase those. They're easy to buy. They're right here in the store, right here at YouTube. It will take you to a website where you could select your size, whether it's a hoodie or maybe it's a tote bag or maybe it's some mugs or whatever it might be. So thank you for that, too. Suzette, thank you very much. And when I see this, I know that what the content that I'm giving you is helping, right? When I see a super chat and a super sticker, that's from someone who says, she helped me to identify something. She helped me to resell something. She helped me not to lose, on a jewelry bag or a blue box that I got from Goodwill. And I found some funny looking piece of a pendant or a pin. She told me what it was, and then I was able to sell it for what it's really worth, those kinds of things. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, I mean, all of those types of things are, when I see this, I know that you're saying, she helped me. These other people are, I'm not sure. No, it's pretty. No, it's not. But, when you really want to know, people are here. And that's what I like. And that's what I appreciate. And I appreciate your support of all of that, too, of all of that as well. So I told you about the newsletter. It goes out tomorrow. Don't forget. I got picked once. I didn't see that. I got kicked once. I pouted and moved on. Well, yeah, you're a reasonable person, Patricia. Patricia's been in our classes and I've done video calls with her. And you know what? And I'm thinking good thoughts for Patricia, but I will, as I am for all of you, but specifically, and I'll tell you a couple things. Yeah, you might in fact, have something happen, and maybe the system crashes or you have to get kicked out because we have so many people, this kind of thing. But you do say, hey, it's nothing personal against anybody. Somebody bought a mug and a t-shirt and a hoodie. All of you asked for the hoodies. So we designed hoodies for you because a lot of you like hoodies. I'm not a hoodie person. I don't like stuff around my neck. Well, necklaces, yes. But other stuff around my neck, I don't really like. But I don't like a hoodie. I don't like big collars. I don't like turtlenecks. But yeah, the hoodies are nice. People like a hoodie. And especially, you're going off to maybe a sporting event or just cash on the weekend, you like to put on a hoodie. So that's good too. I have a Cape Cod sweatshirt that's going on 26, 27 years old. It's not a hoodie, but I am not partying with it. Sometimes there's just those clothes that are comfy and that's just the way it is. What's the most desired and expensive carnival glass? Oh, there's so many. I mean, there's so many carnival glass collectors out there who want everything from Fenton. Maybe they want so many different things. They want the big punch bowls. Everyone goes, no one wants a punch bowl. They take the big punch bowl and they make it a centerpiece bowl. Oh my gosh, all different. There's a lot of them. There's not one that I would say that's the most expensive. Now, which one sold highest at auction? Sure, there's that number that we can find. We can do the search and say, okay, there's the number of the most valuable for the glass kind of thing, for the carnival glass. That's possible, but there's so many collectors out there who just say, I want this very rare pattern, or I want iridescent glass with the metallic salts that was made by Fenton because they're so well known for it, that kind of stuff. It's very popular. So I want to see those questions. Ask me what's valuable. Is this valuable, Dr. Lori? Should I bother with this? Cheryl Shiny Squirrel. As a reseller, a lot of people do this. They say, hey, you know what? I want to see my name on Dr. Lori's channel with a super chat. As a reseller, what types of early colonial items should I be picking up now for 2023? Early colonial. So first of all, early colonial items would be items from like the 1770s or so. So, or just after the Revolutionary War for American colonial pieces. You want to get us out of being a colony. So when you're thinking about us being a colony of England, that's going to be, the 1600s to about the late 1700s, right? So when you're saying which American colonial pieces do I want to be keeping, or do I want to be thinking for 2023, you're thinking of 2026. 2026 is going to be the time when that all those American colonial pieces and Revolutionary War pieces will spike. So stuff that has to do with Washington and Jefferson and the bicentennial from 1976 and this kind of stuff. Any of that stuff you should be looking for. The easiest stuff to identify and to find now would be bicentennial pieces, right? Any of the collectibles from, of course, the bicentennial celebrations from 1976. And anything that relates to, of course, the founding fathers of our country and the founding mothers of our country. You'll see all of that being important. Let's see. The other things that you're going to look for are things, I think there's one actually on this table, because people are saying, people say this too. This is the other thing it makes me think of, like something like this, which is a 1970s cup, but it sure does look colonial American. So these kinds of pieces are going to be what's desirable, but they're going to be best to get them now within the next 2 or 3 years and then sell them in 2026, which is going to be the next anniversary, of course, when we see the next anniversary of our republic, of the American Revolution. What this makes me think about is when people say, Dr. Laurie, you didn't talk about this, you didn't talk about that. Most of the things on the table I have talked about in one of those videos, which is why I want you to use the search feature and use the binge link and watch all the videos, because they're out there. But I'm happy to take your questions. I got no personal questions tonight. You don't want to know that my sweater is LL Bean, right? No personal questions. Is there a market for Blenko outside of West Virginia? Yes. Yes, Brandon, and yes. I'm local to Blenko and I have access to lots of pieces of if there's a market. There's definitely a market, and the market is of course online. Blenko's very, very popular and sells very well at sites like Etsy, eBay, Cherish, and Ruby Lane, and Strove Marketplace. And where else does it sell well? It sells in a lot of places, actually. You could also sell it on Facebook Marketplace. You could also sell it. There's lots of people who are looking for glass in general and Blenko specifically. So if you got an opportunity to get it at a low price, get out there. Yeah, good question. Smart. You're welcome. I know what you meant, Cheryl. You're right. I just like to clarify because, the number's there. We want to just clarify. I was not being in any way derogatory. I have my days mistyping too. Watch Dr. Laurie more for trends. I just found out the colonial will be trending in 2026. Well, thank you, Mike. Yeah, there's lots of trends. There's a lot of information, and I'm happy to, of course, help you with that. I talk about all different stuff as it comes, of course, up as topics throughout all of the lives, throughout all of the videos, and all the videos to do that. If I asked you, are you still traveling internationally? Yes, I do. I was actually just asked recently to lecture in areas in South America. So yes, I am excited to, of course, be traveling internationally. I have done so for many, many years. I've had the good fortune and good travel to actually do just that. So yes, my last trip was actually Japan, which was a lot of fun. I loved Japan. It was a beautiful place. And it was a wonderful trip. So yes, you got it. Nationally and internationally. My last trip internationally was Japan. Is that right? Or was I in Canada after Japan? I don't remember. I don't think so. I think it was Japan. So that's a personal question. Yeah, I love to travel. I think it's totally fun. I love to go to new places. I love to meet new people. I like to experience different foods, although I'm kind of picky. But I really do love to travel, and I've been lucky to be able to do that, and I hope to continue to do that. So thanks for that question. That's a nice question. I love Panama, Lottie. I've had a lot of fun in Panama. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun in Panama. I was actually there in Panama with one of the heads of the Smithsonian the last time I was in Panama. I had a wonderful time with them and helping out with respect to some work that they were doing. It's a lot of fun. Panama is a beautiful place, a wonderful place. It's not so far, right? The people are very, very warm and interesting, and I really like Panama. So I hope to go back, and probably very soon. Panama's close, Kelly, when selling higher, thank you very much, Kelly. When selling higher end porcelain dinnerware, KPM, right, the Royal Berlin work, so KPM is great German dinnerware. Is it better to sell as a lot or individual pieces, and where? Okay, couple of different things. Depends on, do you have a service for 8? Do you have a service for 12? Do you just have 3 teacups and a saucer, stray? If you've got stray stuff and you don't have, a service of a particular number, 8, 10, 12, that kind of deal. If you don't have a set, I've got 4 cups and 4 saucers, and I do have a teapot where you can make kind of a tea set out of that. Then I say sell it as a lot, because a lot of people are looking for the whole lot, and you may not want to spend the time. Up to you. Maybe you want to spend the time doing it piecemeal. You'll make a little bit more money piecemeal, but if you have a full service for 12 of KPM, for example, sell it as the service for 12. And of course, the value is going to be pretty high for something like that. Where to sell good china? I like Ruby Lane for that. I like eBay for that. I like Etsy for that. I like, where else do I like in terms of that? Those are some of them. But in my selling class, I go through many of the different types of, not every single one, but many of the different types of platforms and how you should do it. I also give, of course, those marketing tips and strategies for how you're going to sell. Selling strategies are very important too. So look for the classes, because you know what? A lot of information out of the classes. So, and those spots fill up. My next class is coming up. So look at the event schedule and book your seat in the next classes, because those questions, I will exhaust during the classes too. I'll go through it all exhaustive. I'll exhaust you with all the information I could give you out of those classes. So, yep. A lot of fun. Yeah, great. So I want to know, what do you want to know? What's valuable? What do you think should be valuable? What do you think isn't valuable that you're thinking, how could that not be valuable? Things like, vintage purses, maybe. Or, some of the things that people don't realize, hair accessories. Does that surprise you? It shouldn't. Any plans to travel to Australia for events? Would love to attend a live show. Thank you, Abby. I've been to Australia, and I do intend to return to Australia. For live events, we would have to do some organization of that. But any of you, if you want to, of course, see me as a live event, talk to your local, of course, group, organization, bank, financial advisor, insurance, whoever you like, who you say, they do events. I think Dr. Lori would be a great event. She'd be a great draw here, and have them get in touch. We'd be happy to do that too. I'm Dr. Lori. This is Ask Dr. Lori Live. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for your interest. Thanks for your super chats and super stickers. Thanks for your support. I'll see you next time.